Well, Labour might be doing all right in the polls, but tensions within the party are rising over Keir Starmer's stance on trans issues. Now, GB News has learned that the LGBT wing of the party is considering withdrawing from Pride marches this year because the party brand has become, get this, so toxic amongst that community. Joining me now to speak about the fallout from LGBT Labour is comedian and podcast host is James Barr, whose show, Straight Jokes, is touring in the UK this month. Great to have you on the show. Thank you very much. Maybe this might seem a bit strange to people, given that Keir Starmer has been quite vocal initially about not really being able to define a woman, and the Labour Party in general, I think, being arguably more pro-LGBT issues than maybe the Tories or a couple of other parties. Why is this all happening? What's going on?
Well, you're popping my GB News cherry today, darling, so thank you very much on that, and for mentioning my tour. I hope you'll be buying yourself a ticket at jamesbarcomedy.com.
This is fantastic. Yeah, I will do. Why not? Absolutely. I suppose I can't pop your cherry twice, so there you go. Right, what's going on? Why are people so annoyed about all of this?
Listen, I ultimately think that networks like yours are making people annoyed about this. I think that Keir has made a few boobs and done the odd thing that maybe hasn't impressed the LGBTQ plus community. But if we're going to talk about who is really destroying the rights of LGBTQ plus people, it's not the Labour Party. It's the party that have been in power for the last 13 years and created an absolute bin fire for everyone.
So how then? So the concern is that Keir Starmer has, I believe now, offended some elements of the trans community by initially appearing to support things like Gender Reform Act, etc., and reforms to that, and then rowing back on it after seeing the backlash that it got in Scotland. Just on that, before we go on to what you think the bin fire is with the Tory government at the moment, why has that annoyed people?
I mean, it's not a great look to say you're going to do something and then not do it. Just look at the Tory party saying they're going to ban conversion therapy and then taking 4 years to come through with a flimsy ban on conversion therapy that still hasn't actually been acted upon yet. They're the party that are making huge mistakes for the LGBTQ plus community, not necessarily Labour. Also, Labour aren't in power yet. So if we're going to hold them to account for anything, it's going to be when they're in power.
Yeah, I just want to make it very clear. It's not me saying that the Labour Party have done all of this. It's Labour Party members themselves and representatives of the trans community who are coming out and saying that they are concerned.
I think that most Labour Party members feel safe going to a Pride. I think everybody should feel safe at Pride. They may not feel happy to necessarily march behind the LGBT Labour banner right now because of certain things that Keir's done, like hanging out with that guy who was working with a homophobic church. But ultimately, everyone should feel safe at Pride, and they will. And I think we're quite intelligent, and we're intelligent enough to know that people marching with LGBT Labour don't necessarily all have the same views. Like, we all have different views.
You'd hope so, yeah. Absolutely. Now, right, we've got just around 30 seconds. Just plug your tour. Go.
Thanks, babes. Well, my tour is all about how comedians like Dave Chappelle and they basically use gay jokes all the time in their comedy. And so I'm doing a load of straight jokes, and I can't wait to see you there.